Okay, so it's Tuesday night, and I just got off a conference call about doing a collaboration on mental health. I have been very hesitant to speak on this topic to the extreme that God is telling me to because it would involve hurting people's feelings. Not so much about my personal experience because I'm okay with sharing that, but I would have to go deeper into some things about my parents. Well, I guess I'm about to piss some people off because my soul is stirring. God has fussed at me all day long, so much so just now in the shower. I tried to say that I would start talking about it tomorrow. He was like, no. So, going back to the fact that yesterday celebrated the anniversary of her going to heaven. And I do believe my mom was in heaven because I do believe that she asked God to forgive her for her sins. But you guys need to understand, like, mental health is real. There had to be some mental health issues going on. Like, the things that God is making me remember about my childhood is overwhelming. And it started back in January, and I found myself upset. I even expressed it to my husband, and he reminded me that how can I write a book? How can I tell the story? How can I help people if God doesn't remind me of those things that happen? So, just to give you an example of some things I just remembered just yesterday while thinking about her passing. Like, who, what person, what mother, what could I have done at the age of 11, 12, 13 years old? I don't remember, but I remember I was young. But what could I have done so bad that she made me pack up my room in trash bags and sit on those trash bags in the hallway because she said that a girl's home was coming to get me, only to wake me up because I had fallen asleep on the bags the next morning and tell me to put that shit back in the room because nobody wanted me, not even a girl's home. You guys, you got to know there had to be some mental issues, some serious anger, some serious resentment about life that would cause anyone to do that to their child. Um, it's just so much, and it's painful to talk about, but God has reassured me I need to do this so that there are parents out there that may be doing the same things to their children. And you need to understand your children are going to turn out to be like me, grown with issues. My only saving grace is my daughters won't tell these stories. They won't tell the physical abuse stories, but they will have some mental abuse stories because for those of you all that would always compliment me about me and my children at church and whatever, whatever, my children saw the real me. They saw the person who was either angry all the time or sad all the time, coming home at 5 o'clock in the evening, climbing in the bed, fully clothed, so overwhelmed with life, and then getting up and doing what I needed to do to be halfway normal in their life, and then pretend for you all for what? For me to get to 50 and be so overwhelmed with it that it turned into anxiety. I truly believe that's how I ended up with anxiety. Like suppressing my true feelings, not dealing with the fact that the first 18 years I lived with a woman who never told me she loved me, never hugged me, never said she thought anything of anything I did good. Again, did she show in different ways? Yeah, she bought me things. Like her way of letting me know she wasn't mad at me anymore was to come home with a pair of designer jeans or some new shoes or a cute top or something or whatever. But never saying I'm sorry, I shouldn't have spoke to you like that, or I'm sorry I shouldn't have accused you of this, or even if I had done wrong, finding a more healthier way to talk to me about it. Like, I'm so relieved. that I remember a time Michaela and Jada was sitting in the kitchen and Jada said something inappropriately, and I went to pop her with a towel. I had a dish towel in my hand, and I went to pop her on her arm, but the dish towel literally wrapped around her neck, and I was in tears. My children can't tell you that I have ever physically abused them. So I thank God that I was able to break that generational curse. But there are some curses that I wasn't able to conquer, like the depression that I really believe fell upon me as a generational curse from my mom and my dad. Mainly my dad because he talked about it so doggone much. And then my mom walked it so doggone much. I was doomed. But God. But God. The fact that I literally used to say, God didn't come home with me. Like, we went to church. I went to church so early that I used to cut the lights on in the air condition with the deacon at 320 Bell Drive. But when we got in that car on Sundays, I never felt like Jesus came home with me. Why is that? Because it was a totally different life led inside that house that no one could see but me and her. Like, I don't give a doggone if family, because y'all don't halfway talk to me anyway now. I don't care if y'all never talk to me anymore. I'm more concerned with what God thinks of me. I'm more concerned about if I share my truth, then perhaps there's a young mother out there that's struggling that will go get some help. The fact that if I help somebody else, maybe somebody else will help my girls. Because they're struggling as a result of some things I did to them growing up. And I know there's no such thing as perfect parenting. But I also know that there was a healthier way to do things. Say what you want to about my dad. Yes, he was a man of many children. But I wouldn't know what love is had I not experienced it through him. Like, he taught me how to properly discipline a child. I only caught 2 whippings from my dad. And he laid me either across his lap or across some object like a chair or something, and he popped me on my butt only. And you had to count. And if you stopped counting, you had to start over. So yes, I needed discipline, but there needed to be an appropriate way to discipline me. Not the memory I recalled in the shower tonight where I'm getting ready for Vacation Bible School at Progressive, because we used to have it in the morning, and my mom and my dad weren't getting along, so she was agitated. So she asked me where were my Crayolas that I needed to take with me. And I'm a little girl. I remember this. I had to been 6 or maybe 5 because my dad left when I was 7. So I recall telling her I left the Crayolas at my grandmother's house. She slapped me so hard, I flew across the floor. So then my dad commenced to get up, and he hits her. And he tells her, this is how it feels for someone bigger than you to hit you. And my mom landed on the floor. No, that was not correct what he did, because all that taught me was violence beget violence. But that's the kind of shit I endured. And then y'all want to sit here and say I'm lying or I shouldn't talk about it. I promise y'all, I don't want this assignment. But it's been given to me. My truth for your transformation. The exchange. All of those things are true. All of those things are coming from God, not from me. And he's given me the assignment to help other people, not just women, but men too. Like the stories I'll tell in the days ahead. About my father. About my brother who on his deathbed. He asked me why she never told us she loved us. Why she never says she was sorry about anything she ever did. This stuff is real. So I needed to be obedient tonight and get this much out. And for those of you who have been wondering why I haven't been saying much on Instagram and Facebook lately, it's because I got stuck. I got scared of people. But I'm back on it now. I've got to finish this assignment. So good night. My truth for your transformation. You may want to ask yourself if you want to continue following me. I do ask that if this doesn't pertain to you, but you know someone that could benefit from what I'm sharing, please share this video with them.